We're back, people, and today we're picking up film on Jonnu Smith, Miami Dolphins tight end. We're just going to take a look at, some of these film over the past few years to really see how he fits within this Dolphins offense, because I think he's such a perfect fit, missing exactly what they needed last year, especially as a threat after the catch. He's one of the best yak tight ends in the NFL for multiple different reasons. He obviously has the juice, the explosiveness, but he breaks tackles at a very high level. He can make you miss, too, has the change of direction skills, but just absorbing contact, falling forward. Love all that part of his game. And then just having an intermediate threat is so important, because Dolphins had guys who could get to their spots and be in the right spot and maybe like reliably catch it. But Jonnu just gives you so much more with the hidden yardages. You can also just give him like design touches underneath. It's something the Dolphins offense really desperately missed at that position, because they had it at the running back position. They could give Achane some of those underneath touches, but really in that like 10-yard range, with, Waddle and Tyreek running their routes so much farther down the field, clearing out space, having a tight end who can constantly pick up these types of yardage in that short intermediate, I think is so helpful. And Jonnu Smith definitely makes his money in those areas. He's not like an elite player, but I think it's an elite fit for the Dolphins offense, giving you exactly, what they need. Like, I did a video on him in the past, looking at a lot of the Falcons film, so I'm even going farther down the line, looking at some of the Patriot stuff. And, still some Falcons clips in here too, because that's the most recent thing. And I actually thought that's probably where he looked his best in the most recent year, was this past season in Atlanta. They utilized his skill set really well. So we'll start breaking down some of these clips. I wouldn't say, I like seeing him as a seam threat. He definitely adds more to your offense as a seam threat than what you had. I wouldn't say that's like where he's going to make his main money, but he will, get down the field, snap his head around once he gets into the space, make the catch. And then you're in this spot, not a great spot to, get yards after catch when you had to turn around, completely flip your hips. He even jumps too at the point of attack, but he just has such good contact balance. And it's like collision balance. Like, he absorbs this stuff, man. Like, he gets hit pretty hard here. Guy throws his body in him and he just stays on his feet. And then has some good juice to still pull away from the corner for like an extra 10, 15 yards, even though his momentum was completely slowed down after the contact. Really impressive. Like the work in the underneath screen games, we'll see multiple clips like this. He has a good feel for setting the stuff up with the blocks, get it upfield. He has good change of directions, able to start, stop pretty well, quick feet. It's a combination of things that really, allows him to excel after excel with the ball in his hands, and then diving forward for the extra yards. Very, very nice. Definitely probably my favorite play of his in Atlanta is, going up the field, basically aligned tight as like a slot guy. He can do it from multiple different alignments. Snap his head around once he gets into this window. This is something that he'll have to do within Miami. Lots of timing routes, attacking versus zone, especially in between, the hook defenders, the hook curl zone area of the field. Start to slow down so he doesn't float into this guy's zone right there. Make the catch, and then instantly turn into a threat after the catch. He's not going to get brought down by an arm tackle. Good feel, using stiff arms, picking up his feet to avoid contact, just picking up those yardage. Really, really nice. And it's just little stuff. He just continuously does it, always picking up extra yards, even when he probably shouldn't. He tosses Will Anderson aside here, top pick. Good job setting this up, selling like he's going to block there, sneak out. And then instantly, he has good anticipation skills because he feels this defender really well. So he already starts to slow down his momentum before he even sees where number one is. And then boom, look how quickly he changes direction out of that. That is really special change of direction skills right there. You don't see that a lot of tight ends, and that's where he does a good job. I like the explosiveness too. He's not the greatest like route runner, but like he does get it out of his breaks pretty efficiently. Like here, when he makes that cut and he explodes away, working on an in-breaker, get over the top. Those are things you're going to have to do in Miami, so it's nice to see. He continuously does a great job. It's a very similar to that Atlanta play I just showed. Sell the block, get onto the flat. This one in New England. Catch the ball, stop and start, get upfield very quickly. Good acceleration skills. He just continuously does a really good job selling those blocks, and then it's just one quick move where he completely shifts his momentum the opposite direction, and he changes that direction very fast, sticking that left foot on the ground, makes that guy miss, get behind your blockers, get out in space. Definitely an explosive threat. And the Dolphins have not had that at tight end in quite some time, because even when they had someone who was a pretty solid tight end, Gesicki, he's not that type of player. They're actually very different, and especially with what you need within this offense, the Dolphins really needed this type of player. Just that's kind of what, if you look in the all Shanahan system, when they have a tight end like this, they kind of feast, and they kind of, really like players with that type of skill set. And Jonnu Smith can give you some fullback snaps. He's got some experience playing some fullback and working out of the backfield, which is cool too, because Dolphins like to be versatile and mix and match players, and they have a fullback on the roster in Alec Ingold, so they obviously have formations where you can use that. Alec Ingold even will get some tight end snaps when they want to use him as a run blocker, so having Jonnu and him kind of, mismatch in certain situations where maybe Ingold's at the tight end, but blocking, Jonnu Smith gets involved in the, the receiving work of the game, but from a tight end spot, just giving, fun mismatch opportunities. Like seeing him work over the middle on some of these in-breakers, timing routes. Got to be able to do this within Miami. It's very common. And, making a catch and while taking a hit, also good. That stuff happens. Here's a clip from Tennessee, too. He's lined up here out running back. They just toss him the ball. That's how good he is with the ball in his hands. They just toss him the ball and he goes to work. And he actually does a pretty good job here on his toss. Because, he sets this up. Look at him press up into this. A lot of guys would just try to bounce him into space very quickly. But he presses up into it and then feels this guy trying to, leak back into this hole. And once he does that, boom, get back to the outside. So he sets it up perfectly. And now he's just out in space, outrunning people. The corner, their safety would usually in most situations versus tight end probably would have tackled him closely to here, but he underestimates his speed, so he picks up, an extra 30 yards basically on the play. So that's really nice. This play, I think, is, a big reason you get Jonnu on the team. You throw some of these underneath routes. Dolphins are always pushing the ball so far down the field, over and over and over again. And Jonnu Smith, they didn't have a tight end, and they could just give the ball underneath and let him go to work. They would, get completions there to the tight end, but they wouldn't get too much after the catch. But Jonnu was just gonna break a tackle, brace contact from the linebacker, throw the DBs off of him, and then it takes like 5 guys to basically stop him. And the last play I want to show is when he takes that screen for a touchdown. Don't need to break down too much here. He's just got that juice to really pick up those extra yards, and it's just so helpful. He's not going to be a super elite blocker. He's okay in that area. Would have been nice if he was a better blocker, but it is what it is. But you needed this threat as a receiver in multiple different areas. He can attack your seam, make some tough catches in traffic, which is nice, but really excel after the catch, whether it's in, design touches in the screen game, underneath in the flat, things like that, or just working the intermediate in like that 10-yard range and going to work, especially versus zone coverage. The Dolphins face a heavy amount of it because of, Tyreek and Waddle. Teams don't want to play man-to-man, and that's kind of where Tua's strength lies, is attacking that middle of the field. So having a tight end that can, really take advantage of that will be much, much better for the Dolphins offense. So if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and let's get the